The nursing program, missions, philosophies, and handbooks. You are about to embark on a life-changing experience. The nursing program is going to bring you to new maturity levels, skill sets, and thinking abilities. You begin this process by being able to make critical, on-your-feet decisions. It's important to understand that you have chosen a professional career in which one day you are going to hold the lives of your patients in your hands. To accomplish this, the KCKCC nursing program is not only going to teach you nursing skills and knowledge, but you will also be learning professional behaviors required by nurses, and you will be held accountable for your actions or lack of action. Rules for the KCKCC nursing program have been developed for several reasons: to protect you from injury and harm, to protect the people that you come in contact with as a student, to prepare you for your professional career as a nurse, and to support the KCKCC nursing philosophy and mission. So where do these regulations and rules and policies come from? They come from the college, from the Kansas State Board of Nursing, from clinical facilities, and past student experiences. There are consequences if you don't follow these rules, regulations, and policies. For example, maybe you get a 0 as a grade because you didn't make prior arrangement for a missed assignment or an examination. Maybe you had technical difficulty and you failed to notify your instructor prior to the due date and time, or you didn't call for clinical tardiness or absence. You may be dismissed from the program and or the school for academic dishonesty. You may be dismissed from the clinical site for the clinical day because you didn't follow the rules of the clinical uniform guidelines. The school might lose contact with a clinical facility because a student exhibited unprofessional behavior or there was a HIPAA violation. These are just examples of not following the rules, regulations, and policies of KCKCC. If you have a grievance or a complaint, you have to follow the chain of command for resolution. If you don't follow this chain of command, problem resolution will be delayed. You start with the instructor. If you don't receive appropriate resolution, you move on to the director of nursing. If you don't receive appropriate resolution there, you move on to the director or the Dean of Health Professions, Dr. Tiffany Boehm. If you don't receive appropriate resolution there, which is highly unlikely, then you are going to move on up the chain of command. But I guarantee that if you skip any of these steps, you will be sent back to catch up to the step that you tried to skip. So don't go to the dean without first going to the instructor and then the director of nursing. Content for this program is based on the Kansas State Board Nursing Core Curriculum. We have a couple of handbooks, the KCKCC Campus Handbook and the Student Nursing Handbook. You are going to be held accountable for the information contained within these handbooks. We are not going to read them to you. It's up to you to go through them yourself. Now, each semester, every class is asked to elect student representatives throughout the program. This includes a class president, a vice president, and a historian. The historian is the person that collects class pictures, and prepares the class pinning presentation. Doesn't mean they're the only ones taking pictures. Other students can do that too, but you just send them all to the historian. These representatives will attend one nursing faculty meeting a month, and the class prior to that meeting will provide concerns to the student reps. The reps will then relay those student concerns to the nursing faculty and staff, and then they will bring back any responses or other information to the class. So these students need to have excellent communication skills. These posts can be included on your resume as leadership experience. So there's an added bonus there. So start campaigning now if you are interested. Success in the nursing program. It requires student motivation and hard work. Your instructors have already passed NCLEX. They already know this information. So they are going to be giving you the tools for success, but ultimately it will be up to each one of you individually as to the degree of your success. We can't learn the information for you. We cannot learn the skills for you. This is something that you take accountability for. So the mission and purpose of the college is to inspire individuals and enrich our community one student at a time. The mission and purpose of the nursing program is to provide excellence in nursing education, inspiring diverse graduates to demonstrate competence and clinical judgment, resulting in quality, evidence-based, client-centered care to enrich the health of our community, one student at a time. And I will let you read the program philosophy yourself. This is also located in the Student Nurse Handbook. So nursing practice is humanitarian. It's caring. And it requires a knowledge base of nursing science, biological and physical sciences, social and behavioral sciences, communication, and information technology. The outcomes that we expect to happen after you successfully complete this program is you receive licensure from the state. You get a job. Your employer is satisfied with the degree of knowledge that you bring to their institution. The program is satisfied because we have put one more qualified nurse out there. And it allows you to be able to move into the ADN, not A&D, or BSN nursing program. The graduates of KCKCC Practical Nursing Program are going to be using the critical judgment model to help facilitate clinical decision making in assisting diverse populations to function at their optimal level of wellness across the lifespan. We utilize the critical judgment model, the nursing process, and a knowledge base from nursing and the biopsychosocial sciences to help promote and facilitate informed decision making, achieve those positive patient outcomes, and support self-care activities in structured inpatient and outpatient settings. We maintain effective communication with our clients, significant others, and interdisciplinary team members in the planning and delivery of healthcare. We acknowledge the necessity for continued learning as a part of personal and professional growth, and perform within the discipline of nursing as a caring, ethical, responsible, and accountable member of the healthcare team. Your nursing faculty encourage you to make appointments instead of just dropping in. We are busy. We may not have time, or we may be seeing someone else if you just drop into the office. So don't expect us to always be available at the drop of a hat. Appointments are encouraged. And depending on your instructor's preferred method of contact, which should be found in the instructor info within Blackboard or within the syllabus addendum, or both, contact your instructor per those hours of availability. Now, it's very important for you to be familiar with the absenteeism and tardy policy. We are going to go over these again in a later presentation, so I'm not going to get into too much information here. But I do want to stress, if you are on time, you are late. So always, always, always try to be at least 5 to 10 minutes early. You never know what might slow you down on your trip to your destination. Maybe there was an accident and it has slowed traffic down to parking lot traffic. So know another route to get to your destination. Maybe you have a flat tire, etc. And do not schedule appointments or trips during class or clinical time. Understand that missing didactic time can be just as devastating as missing clinical time. These hours are required not only by the facility, but by the State Board of Nursing. As far as weather cancellations, again, I will let you read through this on your own, but we will be covering it again in another presentation. The one thing I do want to point out at this point is if didactic class, which means your classroom, if school is canceled for any weather-related conditions, class and lab will be canceled. There will not be a Zoom class. So if you have issues, whether it is an academic issue or maybe a behavioral issue, we have a student success contract. This can be for inappropriate behavior, breaking of the rules or regulations. It can be for inadequate effort or a poor result on an assignment or quiz, or maybe you just haven't been turning in your assignments and it's putting your grade in jeopardy of not being successful. Your instructor will sit down with you and develop a student success contract. This can be for clinical or it can be for didactic. So understand that this is a contract between you and your instructor, but it is a important piece, and it can hold your future in your hands if you don't try and make those improvements. Bullying. Oh, this is an issue that is nationwide, not only in the college level, but from day one in kindergarten. No student shall engage in behavior that is intended to cause physical, emotional, or psychological harm to another student at KCKCC. Examples of bullying include, but are not limited to, verbal abuse, and this can be derogatory remarks, insults, slandering, ridicule, maligning a person or his or her family, name calling, or using that individual or a group as the butt of a joke. It can include verbal or physical conduct of a threatening, intimidating, or humiliating nature. It can be sabotaging or undermining an individual or a group's work performance or educational experience. It can be inappropriate physical contact, such as pushing, shoving, kicking, poking, tripping, assault, or the threat of such conduct, or damage to a person's work area or property. It can be inappropriate electronic communication, such as the use of electronic mail, text messaging, voicemail, social media, website, online chat rooms in a threatening, intimidating, or humiliating manner. Bullying in any form, whether it's emotional, spiritual, or physical, will not be tolerated. If you suspect there may be some bullying going on, bring areas of concern to your instructor. I have an example where a student made a comment on a discussion post, a reply to one of the peers. The student did not mean it to be humiliating or derogatory, but the student who received the comment perceived it as such. That perception is bullying. So if you have a concern, bring it to your instructor. If the instructor does not handle it satisfactorily, then it will be taken to the director of nursing and up the chain of command. But bullying is not tolerated. And believe it or not, we have had instances of bullying within the nursing program. Academic guidelines. Understand that an exam average of less than 74% or a comprehensive score of less than 76% for the first 8 weeks. So this will include your foundations and pharmacology course. All other courses will fall into the next category. So you have to have an exam average of 74%, but an overall average of 76% for the first 8 weeks. In the second 8 weeks, the exam average goes up to 76%. That also includes the course average. If you are successful in the didactic course, you also have to be successful in the associated clinical and/or lab course. It is necessary, once again, for you to be familiar with the student handbook and its guidelines.